He's ranked inside the world's top 10. He's won major titles, beaten legends, and posted jaw-dropping stats that most pros dream of. Damon Heta, the Heat, has the resume of a superstar. So why isn't anyone talking about him? Why does one of the most consistent, dangerous players in darts keep getting left out of the spotlight? To find out, we need to go beyond the hype and look at what the numbers and the silence are really telling us. Damon Heta, known as the Heat, reached a career-high world ranking of number 7 in 2025. His place among darts elite isn't built on a single hot streak. It's the result of years of consistent high-level play. His breakout moment came at the 2019 Brisbane Dart Masters, where he defeated a lineup of world champions James Wade, Gary Anderson, Simon Whitlock and Rob Cross to become only the second regional qualifier ever to win a World Series event. That performance on home soil should have made Heta a household name, but even then, the media attention barely flickered. Look deeper and his stats are impossible to ignore. A career win rate of 66.19% with 554 wins in 837 matches puts him among the most consistent players in the game. He's earned over £1 million in prize money, a benchmark only a select few reach. And when it counts, he delivers big. In 2024, he posted a staggering 117.48 average at the European Darts Grand Prix, one of the highest on tour that year. His checkout percentages show why he's so dangerous under pressure. In the 2022 UK Open semi-finals, he averaged 104 against Johnny Clayton. That same year, he claimed the Gibraltar Darts Trophy, defeating Michael van Gerwen in the semis and Peter Wright in the final, two of the sport's biggest names back-to-back. He's also proven himself in team events. In 2022, Heta and Simon Whitlock delivered Australia's first World Cup title, beating Wales 3-1 in the final. It was a historic moment, but one that again flew under the media radar. And it's not just the big titles. Heta's head-to-head results include some of the sport's most overlooked upsets. In the 2019 Gibraltar Darts Trophy, he edged out Van Gerwen 8-7, a result that should have dominated headlines. Across the Pro Tour, his form is relentless. He's won 6 Players' Championship titles between 2022 and 2024. In the 2024 UK Open, he made the semi-finals after beating Whitlock and Nathan Aspinall, then added another title in 2025 by defeating Aspinall again. These wins aren't one-offs, they're the result of elite, week-in, week-out consistency. And yet, despite all that, Damon Heta remains under-recognised. The stats, the titles, the performances, they're all there. But his style isn't flashy or loud. He's often overshadowed by players who bring more noise than numbers. He's proven he belongs, but in darts, as in most sports, performance alone doesn't always equal recognition. To understand why Damon Heta isn't a bigger name, we have to look beyond the numbers. So, if you're tired of just hearing the same names and want a deeper look at the game behind the headlines, hit subscribe. We cover the stars, the underdogs, and everything in between, because darts deserves more than just surface-level hype. In darts, how you're perceived can matter just as much as how you play, and while Damon Heta may not chase drama, he's no stranger to the spotlight. His walk-ons, often set to "things can only get better," have gained real traction with fans, especially in Europe. In Munich, crowds have erupted during his entrances, and Reddit threads have praised his energy, calling him one of the most entertaining walk-ons in the game. It's not over-the-top or theatrical like Peter Wright's Mohawks or Gerwin Price's Roars, but it's spirited, authentic and fun. He engages with fans without forcing a persona. That balance is what makes Heta unique. He's not quiet, he's composed. His presence isn't loud, but it resonates. And yet, in a sport where storylines often revolve around flamboyance or conflict, his style can get overshadowed. Compare him to the players who dominate headlines. Gerwin Price splits crowds with his intensity. Peter Wright turns matches into visual spectacles. Luke Littler, even early in his career, commands attention with swagger and presence. These players make every appearance feel like a moment. Heta, on the other hand, keeps it professional. His gestures are understated, a calm fist pump, a quick nod to the crowd, a handshake after a win. His charisma is in his control, not in theatrics. Media tends to gravitate toward the louder narratives. Wright's outfits, Price's fire, Littler's meteoric rise, those are tailor-made for highlights and interviews. Heta? He walks on, delivers world-class darts and walks off. No outbursts, no viral moments, just results. But that doesn't mean he lacks personality. Watch closely and you'll see it. The crowd engagement, the smirk after a big checkout, the joy when fans sing along to his walk-on. It's there, just not always where the cameras are pointing. And in that subtlety lies the paradox. Heta's demeanour is part of what makes him so effective. In high-pressure moments, he doesn't flinch. Take the 2022 World Cup of Darts. He stayed composed under fire and helped deliver Australia's first title. But while his darts did the talking, the headlines moved elsewhere. Even in tense matchups, his respect stands out. After edging Luke Littler 10-8 at the 2023 UK quarter-final, he offered a handshake and an embrace, even as Littler turned away in frustration. It was a moment of quiet class that fans appreciated, but media mostly missed. Heta's not playing for cameras, he's playing to win, and that mindset has kept him at the top. But it raises a question. In a sport where noise often outshines nuance, does staying true to yourself come at a cost? Geography shapes more than just travel plans in darts. It defines opportunity, exposure, and even legacy. For Damon Heta, growing up in Perth meant launching his career on the Dart Players Australia circuit, a far smaller stage than Europe's Pro Tour. The DPA Tour gave him a place to develop, but it couldn't match the competition or visibility that young players in the UK or the Netherlands enjoy. Early highlights like qualifying for the Sydney Darts Masters in 2014 and the Auckland Darts Masters in 2016 showed his potential, but they also revealed a ceiling. Because the real action, the tournaments that drive rankings, media attention and fame, happens in Europe. The reality is simple. Darts, at the highest level, runs on a European clock. The PDC is based in the UK. Most major events from the World Championship to the World Match Play are played on European soil. European stars get dozens of televised Pro Tour and Euro Tour events every year. In 2019, Heta had just 3 World Series stops in Australia and New Zealand. The exposure gap is massive. For Heta, that meant fewer chances to play in front of home fans, less time on TV, and a steeper climb to build a global following. But it's not just the number of events, it's the atmosphere too. European arenas are packed. The energy lifts local players and overwhelms outsiders. When Heta walks into those venues, he's often the only Australian flag in a sea of Union Jacks and orange shirts. The home advantage is real, and so is the challenge of flying halfway around the world to compete, battling jet lag and time zones European players rarely think about. His true breakthrough came in 2019 at the Brisbane Darts Masters. On home soil, Heta defeated a lineup of world champions, Rob Cross, Gary Anderson, Simon Whitlock and James Wade, to win the title. It made him the first non-tour card holder to win a World Series event since 2010. That win should have been a launching point, but with the spotlight focused on Europe, the reaction was muted. It went in the record books, not the highlight reels. After that, Heta knew he had hit the limit of what was possible from home. In January 2020, he earned his PDC Tour card at UK Q School and moved to the UK to compete full-time. Not just to chase a dream, but because it was necessary. The move gave him access to more events and tougher competition, but the structural bias remained. European players still benefit from easier access to ranking points, more consistent TV time, and larger home crowds. Even when Heta wins on the biggest stages, the narrative often shifts back to the usual names. When he and Simon Whitlock won Australia's first ever World Cup in 2022, a truly historic moment, the wider focus quickly returned to Price, Smith, Wright or Littler. European duos get weeks of coverage. Heta's win often feels like a footnote. Visibility remains a constant uphill battle. Fewer high-profile appearances in Europe mean less sponsor exposure. And in darts, value isn't just about trophies, it's about how often your name appears on screens and posters. For Heta, a smaller home market and less media saturation means he's always fighting for recognition that European rivals take for granted. So, is mastering geography the secret key to stardom? Right now, the structure of pro darts still keeps the spotlight close to home. The calendar, the rankings, the narrative, all shaped by location. And Heta's story proves something important. Talent and hard work can take you far, but where you play still matters. That tension sits at the heart of Heta's career. The stats, the wins, the upsets, they're all there, but the reach of his fame is shaped by forces he can't control. And it's a reminder that in this sport, being one of the best doesn't always mean being seen as the best. From major wins on global stages to unheard-of averages, Damon Heta's story challenges everything we think we know about stardom in darts. His record speaks for itself: elite stats, clutch performances, and a level of consistency most players can only chase. Remember Australia's historic first World Cup win in 2022? Heta was the calm force driving it home. And yet the spotlight rarely lands on him. So, the next time you're watching a tournament or scrolling the lineup, look for his name. Watch what he does, talk about it, share his story. Because players like Damon Heta deserve more than just results, they deserve recognition. And if you believe the best in the game shouldn't be ignored, hit that subscribe button and help us make sure the darts world starts paying attention.